At this moment, Ichiryu is entering the base of the Bushokakai. So, the Bushokakai is gathering all their strongest members, to prepare for battle against Ichiryu. But, Ichiryu is not worried at all and says to them, "I want to meet your boss." So, they immediately underestimate Ichiryu, thinking he can't defeat the chefs here, thus, they start attacking, and capture Ichiryu. When this monkey guy tries to attack him, he is immobilized in midair. Ichiryu can even easily escape their traps, surprising them. So, they decide to collectively restrain Ichiryu. Unexpectedly, Ichiryu releases his gourmet cells, immediately created a tremendous suction force, pulling everything towards him. Kuromoto realizes his ability is gravitational attraction, like the gravitational attraction of an entire planet. Suddenly, another force pulls them back. Turns out the boss of the Bishokukai has appeared. Ichiryu says, "Long time no see, Midora." While Midora doesn't understand why Ichiryu is here, Ichiryu asks, "Do you want to have a meal with me like before, Midora?" Turns out, in the past, Ichiryu, Jiro, and Midora were all disciples of Acacia and Froze, and he wants to eat God with Midora. But Midora refused, saying, "I will obtain God, and I will not share God with anyone." Ichiryu realizes he can't reason with Midora anymore. So, he decides to leave. But, Ichiryu warns them, "If war breaks out, I won't back down either," and he immediately released his gravitational attraction. It made them terrified. So, Ichiryu departs. Midora realizes Ichiryu is still the same as before, and he also leaves. Now, Ichiryu has returned to Igo. When Setsuno learns that even Ichiryu couldn't advise Midora, she realizes they can't sit down and eat together anymore. But, Ichiryu realizes he can place his hope in the four heavenly kings. Setsuno sees Ichiryu eating a lot. Turns out he's trying to awaken his gourmet cells, to prepare for the battle to obtain God. On Komatsu's side, after returning from Gourmet Casino, his cooking skills have improved a lot. While Toriko continues to search for ingredients on Ichiryu's training list, suddenly, he encounters a level 35 devil plant horse. It's chasing a chef. So, it attacks Toriko. Toriko uses fork shield to block its attacks. He continues with flying knife, but it dodges all his attacks. Thus, it attacks Toriko again. Suddenly, he sees a tree. Toriko strikes the tree, causing the tree's resin to shoot out. Unexpectedly, this resin froze the horse solid, and he continues with 18-hit nail punch, destroying the horse's armor, making it flee. Turns out there are many chefs here, because they are trying to protect the ingredients here. Suddenly, a chef named Monkney appears. Toriko realizes he's the one he's looking for, so, Toriko goes to his sushi shop. Turns out besides being a chef, he's also a fortune teller. Thus, Toriko asks Monkney to help him find the sixth ingredient. When he learns it's in the Lost Forest, he's shocked, because it's very difficult, and requires Toriko to gather many ingredients. On Komatsu's side, he arrives where Toriko is. Now, Tom tells him to jump out of the plane, making Komatsu frightened. Luckily, the parachute deployed. So, Komatsu lands safely, and he meets Toriko. Turns out they're at IGO's Biotope 2. Thus, Toriko takes Komatsu on a tour of the place, seeing many researched creatures here, making Komatsu amazed. Toriko explains that this is a place for researching marine creatures, seeing the beauty beneath the ocean, making Komatsu thrilled. At this moment, Toriko takes Komatsu to the underwater restaurant, and they begin to enjoy the dishes here, making both of them very happy. After finishing eating, Toriko tells Komatsu he's looking for an ingredient in the Lost Forest, but that forest is very vast. So, he had to rely on fortune teller Monkney to help him pinpoint the ingredient's location. But, Monkney's condition is to help him find enough ingredients to make the Iho Umaki sushi. Suddenly, they receive a message from Ichiryu, saying the lake has frozen over, which surprises Toriko, because that lake is considered a treasure of the gourmet world, and inside, it's like a natural soup pot. So, Ichiryu gathered the four heavenly kings together again. At this moment, Toriko's group has arrived at the frozen lake, making Yun very happy to go ice skating. Then, Coco arrives too. Their task this time is to catch Madam Fish. So, Sunny and Zebra immediately join, because they know Madam Fish is very delicious. Suddenly, Zebra wants them to compete against each other, to see who can catch Madam Fish first. At this point, Toriko trusts Komatsu's food luck. Surely, they'll find Madam Fish first. Madam Fish turns out to be an ingredient for making Iho Umaki sushi. On Sunny's side, he knows Madam Fish is very beautiful, like a mermaid under the lake. So, he's determined to catch Madam Fish. Coco realizes that Madam Fish is level 83, even though it cannot fight. But, this fish species is very difficult to catch. At this point, Komatsu realized that the 4 heavenly kings had split up in 4 directions. Toriko knew that Zebra could hear sound waves, Sunny is the connecting ability, Coco is the ability to see electromagnetic waves, Komatsu has food luck, but, Toriko has a sense of smell. On Coco's side, he have located the position of Madam Fish. He immediately used poison to inject a hole into the ice, and started fishing, while Sunny also used his hair to drill a hole in the ice, and used his hair to search for Madam Fish. Zebra used the echo map, to locate the position of Madam Fish, while Komatsu is still slowly searching. But, Yun is just playing around. Toriko has also drilled a large hole in the ice. So, he and Rin also started fishing. At this point, Zebra has located the position of Madam Fish, however, he sees there are too many fish below, thus, he immediately attacks them. But, Madam Fish managed to escape. On Sunny's side, they caught a shrimp elephant level 35, which shocked him because it was too ugly. Coco realized that Zebra had intimidated Madam Fish. It caused it to flee, while Komatsu managed to catch 2 small fish, but he remained determined to find Madam Fish. On Toriko's side, a fish has bitten the hook, but it's not Madam Fish. At this point, Coco and Zebra keep changing their fishing spots, while Sunny continues to catch ugly fish. So, the 4 heavenly kings keep changing their positions. At this moment, they realize, this place is indeed where Madam Fish is. Turns out it's Komatsu's spot, which surprises them, because Komatsu's food luck is terrifying. Suddenly, a fish bites the hook. So, Komatsu tries to reel it in. They all rush to help Komatsu. But Komatsu says, after everyone, why not try cooperating once? Unexpectedly, Komatsu manages to reel in Madam Fish. Suddenly, a jackal kite tries to snatch Madam Fish. So, Zebra attacks it, Coco also attacks. But, it manages to dodge. Toriko and Sunny intervene as well. So, they manage to scare away the jackal kite, making the whole group very happy, and ready to eat Madam Fish. The next day, Toriko and Komatsu are searching for another ingredient, to make sushi iho umaki. So, they head to Liquor Sea, which excites Toriko, because this sea is made of extremely strong beer and liquor. Now, they have arrived at Drunken Frenzy Island. Turns out, besides Madam Fish's meat, Monkney tells Toriko they also need to find King Vinegar, thus, they have to come to this island. Komatsu realizes it's a very rare type of vinegar. Suddenly, they encounter a Drunken Frenzy cattle level 30. So, Toriko attacks it, to have meat with alcohol. Toriko then discovers a liquor waterfall. It made him excited. But, ahead of them is a brandy tiger level 53. It's here just to drink alcohol. So, Toriko also tries it. Unexpectedly, its taste is very good. While Komatsu doesn't dare to drink for fear of getting drunk, Toriko says, here's Yukon Unko, a type of ginger that prevents drunkenness. So, Komatsu can comfortably drink alcohol without getting drunk. They continue to explore this island, making them very happy, because there are many excellent ingredients here. Suddenly, they encounter a giant level 78 emerald dragon, making both of them worried, because it's a very powerful monster. Toriko isn't sure if he can defeat it. Suddenly, they see Jiro on the back of the emerald dragon. Turns out, he's bathing in alcohol here, making both of them excited to bathe together. It turns out he comes here every day to bathe in alcohol. Jiro realizes both of them have become much stronger. At this moment, Toriko thanks Jiro, because he had saved Toriko once in the gourmet world. So, he invited both of them to drink with him. They realized it was a very rare type of alcohol in his full course menu. But, Jiro has already finished the wine. At this point, both of them went back to find Monkney, to give him the King Vinegar. Turns out, they had been searching for King Vinegar for a week on that island. But, Monkney said they were still missing ingredients. So, both of them went to find Teppei, because he had some ingredients ready to make sushi iho umaki. At this point, Teppei told them, he had just revived an ingredient with a terrible smell, which was the Dodorian bomb. So, both of them immediately went to find the Dodorian bomb. When the train brought them to the Dodorian bomb area, then, the train immediately departed. Komatsu realized the smell here was terrible. Toriko told Komatsu, they were still about 350,000 feet away from the Dodorian bomb, making Komatsu surprised, because they were already very far away but could still smell its foul odor. But Toriko said, the most terrible smell is when the Dodorian bomb falls. However, its taste is very delicious. So, both of them started to search for the Dodorian bomb. At this point, both of them went inside. making them very uncomfortable, because the smell here was too foul. But, they still didn't give up and continued moving forward. By evening, all their food had been decomposed by the foul smell. After several days of trying to find the Dodorian bomb, finally, they saw it, which surprised them greatly, because the foul smell here was too terrible, causing the clothes of both to melt away. Unexpectedly, the Dodorian bomb was about to fall, making Toriko think they were about to die, and it fell like a bomb, making everyone smell a terrible foul odor, while Toriko and Komatsu fainted. Finally, after a month, they were able to return home, making both very happy. But, when they entered the restaurant, everyone ran away, because the smell on their bodies was so foul. At this point, Toriko and Komatsu were very happy, because in the end, they managed to get rid of the foul smell of the durian bomb. Turns out, the only way to neutralize the foul odor was to eat it. At this point, they only lacked one ingredient, nori seaweed, to be able to prepare the sushi ihou maki. So, they went to the land of the gourmet knights. Suddenly, Toriko was attacked. Turns out, they were the gourmet knights. Unexpectedly, they met Takimaru again, since the end of the battle in Ice Hell, making Toriko and Komatsu very happy. At this point, the leader of the gourmet knights, I, appeared. He was Toriko's close friend, so, I led both of them to their village. While the gourmet knights had their own eating habits and principles, Toriko, on the other hand, was eating without any rules. So, I and Toriko continuously argued. At this point, Komatsu told Takimaru that they were here to find nori. He recognized it as Iko nori growing on the back of a turtle. By evening, Toriko and I were conversing. Toriko asked, "Are you ready to find God?" Turns out, I had also prepared to include it in his full-course menu. Toriko noticed all the dishes in I's full-course menu were made from pure ingredients. Suddenly, they continued arguing about who would find God first. The next morning, Takimaru led both of them to find Iko nori. Suddenly, they encountered Nanshi. Turns out, he was Manchini's twin brother. At this point, he told both of them that the energy they used here was all natural, and electricity was generated from solar turtles. When he connected electricity to the solar turtle, it immediately produced electricity. Turns out, its energy could power an entire town. At this point, he provided Iko nori for both of them. But, if Iko nori is taken away, it won't be able to absorb solar energy. So, he asked Toriko to use his hands to generate electricity for the solar turtle. Unexpectedly, it made it glow. While Toriko was exhausted, unexpectedly, the entire village came here to ask Toriko to charge the solar turtle. So that night, Toriko helped all the villagers in the village. The next morning, he obtained a lot of Iko nori. So, they decided to return to find Monkni. See both of them collect Ango ingredient. Thanks to that, Monkni could start making sushi. Unexpectedly, he cooked by wrestling, which surprised Komatsu. While other chefs enjoyed watching him cook, Komatsu realized he was tenderizing the ingredients. Finally, after many days of cooking, he completed the sushi ihou maki, surprising Toriko and Komatsu, because it was too tall and big. Suddenly, the sushi started to move erratically. Monkni said it would show them the way. So, the giant sushi collapsed, surprising everyone. Monkni told Toriko to eat this sushi and follow it, as it would lead them to the ingredient they needed. So, Toriko and Komatsu started eating the sushi, making both of them very happy, because the taste of the sushi was too delicious, containing all the ingredients they had found. Toriko and Komatsu continued eating non-stop, even traversing through cities, seas, and mountains. Finally, they saw the Lost Forest, the largest forest in the world, spanning 11 million square miles. So, both continued eating sushi. At this point, Komatsu asked Toriko what ingredient President Ichiryu tasked him with finding. Toriko said it was the bubble fruit, a fruit-flavored soap bubble. Naturally, they saw a large hole ahead. Toriko saw someone stealing his sushi, so he immediately chased after him. Surprisingly, they found a restaurant. They realized this restaurant was the disappearing Cuisine. That's a legendary 10-star restaurant, one of the hardest to find. Toriko and Komatsu happily rushed inside. Suddenly, the restaurant vanished, leaving them puzzled. But, they saw an old man eating here. He quickly disappeared too. Then, someone told them to clap their hands and bow. The restaurant reappeared. So, Toriko and Komatsu bowed. Thanks to that, they managed to get inside the restaurant. Suddenly, they encountered a female ninja. She introduced herself as Chiru, the head chef here. Komatsu recognized her. She's the 15th ranked chef in the world. So, she led both of them into the restaurant. At this point, She informed them, this restaurant has certain rules called food etiquette. If they don't follow it before eating, they won't be able to eat the dishes here. So, Toriko understood why the restaurant disappeared. Turns out, this restaurant is made from the wood of the invisibility tree in the gourmet world. Suddenly, they encountered the thief again. It turns out he's an employee here. When Chiru learned Toriko came here to find the bubble fruit, she told them, bubble fruit is the treasure of the Shokoran temple deep inside the forest. Suddenly, they saw the old man from earlier. Toriko recognized he was the one who instructed them to bow. So, Toriko and Komatsu began tasting the dishes here. The first dish was a wine made from kelp stone. Toriko realized it's a type of wine that must be very difficult to make. So, Toriko decided to taste it. Unexpectedly, the wine immediately evaporated. Chiru explained that eating any dish here also requires food etiquette. Turns out, when drinking this wine, you must not let the surface of the water shake. They thought Komatsu could manage it. Unexpectedly, the wine also evaporated. Next was eating sunshine cheese. They needed to stand under sunlight to eat it. Unexpectedly, the taste of sunshine cheese was delicious. Next was the million tomato, but it was very fragile. Next was star rice, which surprised both of them, because it was too bright. They weren't allowed to blink while eating it, but both couldn't resist and blinked, immediately causing star rice to be charred black. At this point, both of them were very disappointed, because eating here was too difficult. So, they still hadn't eaten anything, but they saw this old man had been eating for a long time, and he had eaten all the dishes in the restaurant. He told them, if they don't learn food honor, they won't be able to eat anything. Turns out, he is none other than Master Chinchin, the owner of the Shokoran temple. Both recognize him as one of the 4 legendary gourmet hunters. Chinchin knows that Toriko and Komatsu were sent here by Ichiryu. So, he tells them both to follow him. When they bid farewell to Chiru, Chinchin asks her, has Chiyo returned yet? Because he really wants to eat the dish made by Chiyo. So, both follow Chinchin deep into the forest. Komatsu realizes Chiyo is a genius chef ranked 5th, possessing a $700 million knife. She's even considered equal to Setsuno. But Chinchin says, she disappeared without a known reason, like many other chefs in the world. Komatsu realizes Otake is similar. Turns out, Chiyo used to be Chinchin's companion. So, he leads both of them to the Shokoran temple, to learn food honor and search for the bubble fruit. This place is one of the 4 most important locations in the gourmet world. But as they step in, the shrine keeps attacking them relentlessly. Even though Toriko tries to fight back, the shrine doesn't cease its assault. Master Chinchin advises to trust and respect. Suddenly, the whole shrine bursts into flames. Toriko's nail punch technique couldn't extinguish the flames. So, Chinchin intervenes, turning his hand into a giant spoon. With just a gentle action, he takes the flames of the entire shrine into his hand. Even though they've entered the shrine, Toriko and Komatsu continue to be attacked. Master Chinchin said, you must respect the temple with all your heart. When they close their eyes to try, the shrine truly stops. Toriko thinks they've succeeded. He was immediately struck on the head by a pillar. As they stepped inside, both of them were surprised, because there were so many people here learning food honor. Master Chinchin proudly says that every year 100,000 people come here to study. Even prisoners of gourmet are brought here. He introduces them to his disciple named Shu. Upon learning he'll be training both of them, Toriko immediately doubts, as he seems very weak. So, Shu takes Toriko and Komatsu for a tour of the shrine. He explains there are 3 levels of training here: elementary, intermediate, and advanced. If you want to obtain the bubble fruit, the shrine's treasure, both must surpass the advanced level. But, Toriko just wants to quickly get the bubble fruit. Shu points it out on the other side, surprising them both. Why would the shrine's treasure be outside? Seeing the sparkling bubbles, Toriko's mouth waters, but when he reaches out, they all burst. He recalls Master Chinchin's words, without learning food honor, don't even dream of touching the bubble fruit. Yet, Shu recognizes Toriko's potential, like a hunting beast. So, he challenges Toriko to a fight. Toriko is also afraid that if he is too heavy-handed, Shu will faint. But, seeing Shu's confidence, Toriko attacks. Surprisingly, no matter how hard he punches, he can't hit Shu. So, he resorts to fork and knife. But, Shu effortlessly dodges. As Toriko tires out from burning too many calories, he blames him, you only know how to run. Then it's my turn. In a blink, Shu cuts Toriko's clothes and shaves his face. Toriko realizes Shu not only evades but also attacks simultaneously. This is food honor. At this point, Toriko decides to unleash his nail punch technique. but Shu can easily block and dodge his punches, surprising Toriko. Shu remarks Toriko has too many unnecessary movements. So, Toriko concedes defeat, saying, "Next time, I'll beat you." Now, it's Komatsu's turn. Both will compete in a cabbage cutting contest. Komatsu thinks he can win easily, since he just needs less than a minute to finish, but to his surprise, within 10 seconds, Shu finishes, leaving Komatsu astonished. Because Toriko is too hungry, Shu takes him to eat. Unexpectedly, they need 16-foot-long chopsticks to eat beans. The next morning, at 5 a.m., they are awakened. Shu gives Toriko and Komatsu their first task. They must meditate and maintain gratitude towards food. If any desire arises, the candle will extinguish. Just heard Shu say that after practice, they'll get breakfast. Toriko's candle goes out. Next is learning to honor the food posture. But, if the posture is incorrect, they'll be attacked by a cactus. Both are hit by the cactus. Now, Shu gives Toriko and Komatsu a rose ham flower seed, instructing them to plant and care for it, and constantly express gratitude towards it. By evening, the seed still hasn't sprouted. Toriko thought the seed was spoiled, but they still tried to show gratitude. Finally, the next morning, the seed sprouted, making them both very happy. Suddenly, Shu said, "A seed taking a night to sprout is too slow. At this rate, you won't get to eat rice." So, they both tried harder. By noon, the seed finally bloomed. In the following days, Shu noticed both had started progressing, as they maintained the candle burning for 30 minutes. So, Shu increased the difficulty of the exercises. Unexpectedly, by evening, they could make seeds sprout very quickly, even flowering, surprising Shu. Suddenly, a few sandwicherflies came and ate Toriko's flowers, causing him to get angry and lightly swing his hand, accidentally breaking the tower. Shu explained this was the result of his training, helping Toriko focus and eliminate unnecessary movements. This made Toriko very happy. Next was Komatsu's test. He had to extract poison from a puffer whale. Last time, Komatsu struggled to get its poison, but this time, he easily extracted it. At this point, they believed in food honor. Meanwhile, Master Chinchin sensed something has advanced towards Shokoran Temple. Toriko and Komatsu had managed to keep many candles lit, making Shu surprised. Next, even the cactus stopped attacking both. The seeds sprouted faster, so Toriko and Komatsu could eat comfortably. Toriko then tried to cut a giant rock in half. Surprisingly, he didn't exert any effort this time, and Komatsu could cut vegetables faster too. Shu said they had mastered food honor. Suddenly, Master Chinchin jumped down from the sky, creating a hole in the ground. Unexpectedly, he forgot Toriko and Komatsu's names this time. Chinchin realized they had mastered food honor, so, he decided to train them personally. He led both to a path filled with bubbles, and told them this path would lead to the real bubble fruit. But, only one could follow him, so, Toriko decided to go first, to leave Komatsu at Shokoran Temple. At this point, Toriko only followed Master Chinchin. But, he realized the end of the path was nowhere to be seen, making Toriko exhausted. Meanwhile, at the shrine, Shu and the elders sensed something very dangerous approaching. Toriko was very hungry and thirsty, because he wasn't allowed to eat or drink, but, despite walking for a long time, they still didn't reach the destination, causing him to collapse. Toriko noticed Master Chinchin was fat despite not eating anything. "Don't underestimate me. My body already weighs 1 ton. This shocked Toriko, and he remembered the hole Master Chinchin created when he fell. On Komatsu's side, he noticed the shrine was invisible. Unexpectedly, when the old lady shouted, she forced the shrine to reveal itself. Shu recognized her as Chio, Master Chinchin's former companion. Suddenly, a monster jumped down, and she said, "This time, I'll kill all of you." Komatsu has just arrived at the place. He met his best friend again. On Toriko's side, he was exhausted. Master Chinchin realized the shrine was in grave danger, but he still had to help Toriko complete the challenge. Inside Toriko, he used autophagy to consume his gourmet cells. So, Toriko regained strength. But no matter how far Toriko went, he still couldn't see the end point, leaving him exhausted and completely collapsed. He thought he would die this time. At this moment, Toriko remembered all the ingredients he had eaten, and thanked them for creating his flesh and blood. Suddenly, the bubble fruits began to appear. Master Chinchin said, "You've truly grasped the meaning of food honor. Now, go ahead and eat." Unexpectedly, as Toriko took a bite, he found it so delicious that he cried. Finally, Toriko was revived. Master Chinchin helped Toriko gather the bubble fruits and said, It's time for me to return to Shokoran Temple. Then, he flew away at great speed. While the monsters continued to attack the shrine, Chiyo said that this monster was the product of the Bishakukai, created by combining various types of monsters together. It turned out she returned here to obtain Master Chinchin's culinary secrets. Unexpectedly, she was too powerful. With just one move, she pierced through the bones of this guy. One by one, everyone was defeated. Meanwhile, Komatsu met his close friend Otake again. But, Otake advanced and pierced Komatsu's body. On Chiyo's side, she had defeated everyone. Shu was attacked by this monster. So, Shu retaliated, but couldn't cut through its skin, despite being stabbed. Komatsu realized he wasn't injured. Otake explained his knife was the revitalizing kitchen knife, which restores ingredients to their original state. Fortunately, Master Chinchin returned in time. Seeing she had defeated everyone here, he became enraged, and unleashed his full power form. Master Chinchin used his spoon to scoop the ground where she stood, intending to take her elsewhere to fight him. Unexpectedly, she attacked Master Chinchin by surprise. Komatsu saw everyone had been defeated, leaving him feeling helpless. So, he called Toriko. Suddenly, Toriko appeared, and even transformed into Super Saiyan 3, which made Komatsu very happy. Master Chinchin realized Toriko had eaten all the bubble fruits, and mastered food on her. So, he created 2 spoons. To detain Chiyo with him, he decided to fight her seriously. Suddenly, the monster ran towards them. Shu warned Toriko that it was very strong, as it was a combination of hundreds of vicious monsters. But, Toriko remained calm, and he cut off all his hair. When it attacked, with just a wave of his hand, Toriko cut his arm into pieces. But, he immediately grew another arm. Toriko then used nail punch, sending him flying far away and crashing into a mountain. Finally, he disintegrated. Even Toriko didn't know how many punches he had thrown. At this moment, Master Chinchin also stepped forward. Unexpectedly, he had failed. Chiyo continued to torture Master Chinchin. So, she began to target Toriko. I'll show you the power of the $700 million knife. As Chiyo swung her knife, Toriko felt her killing intent. Thus, he used a spoon as a shield. Toriko immediately jumped up and used leg knife. Shu and Komatsu also felt the terrifying power of this move. Seeing she could still block, Toriko continued to use leg knife. When she flew up to attack Toriko, he wrapped a spoon around his hand and directly struck her, sending both of them flying. They thought Chiyo had won. Unexpectedly, her 2 $700 million knives were broken. It turns out it's just a fake knife. These were her real knives. Suddenly, Otake announced, "He's here." It turns out they're just holding everyone back, waiting for Starjin to arrive. Although he was only controlling a GT robo, Toriko could sense his formidable aura. He said he had completed his mission, so, it's time for them to return now. Before leaving, Otake challenged Komatsu. "The greatest god cook will definitely be me, and I will win against you." But Komatsu replied, "I won't lose to you." Then, they disappeared. Toriko also realized that the one controlling the GT robo was Starjin. It turned out they were preparing to enter the gourmet world. As for Komatsu, he didn't understand why Otake had changed like that. Toriko realized he had been injected with gourmet cells into his body. So, he comforted Komatsu, "We will definitely help him return, because we are friends." But, Master Chinchin's wound was too severe. Fortunately, Chiru arrived. So, she used the revitalizing kitchen knife to heal Master Chinchin's wounds. Toriko gathered the bubble fruits again, to help him regain strength. At this point, Chiru explained that the revitalizing kitchen knife was made from creatures with regenerative cells that could restore ingredients, but it couldn't revive the dead. Master Chinchin had also regained consciousness, and informed the whole group that Chiyo joined the Bishakukai organization to find a way to revive her son, because she knows that Acacia's menu can revive the dead. He said they needed to inform Ichiryu. Meanwhile, Ichiryu had gathered 20 high-ranking members of the Igo. After they had eaten and were satisfied, he informed everyone that the Bishakukai had taken action, so they would prepare for a battle with them. After the meeting ended, he received news that the 4 beasts would appear. But, Ichiryu remained unconcerned, and said the 4 beasts were the final training for those kids. Toriko and Komatsu are preparing to return, so they bid farewell to everyone. On the Starjin side, they have also eaten the bubble fruit. Bishakukai's boss Midora is eating a lot in preparation for the battle with Ichiryu. At this moment, Midora's personal assistant, Alfaro, notices that the boss's appetite is very high. Even the bubble fruit can't satisfy his hunger. So, now only the Infini Bee can help him. It's a legendary ingredient found by Acacia. Thus, Alfaro orders Yu to find it. On Toriko's side, he have returned to the gourmet restaurant to enjoy Komatsu's dishes, which Toriko greatly enjoys, because Komatsu's cooking skills are getting better. Suddenly, Setsuno comes to find them. She notices that Toriko has learned food honor. So, she asks Toriko and Komatsu to help her with something. It turns out she needs both of them to help her find the golden wheat, a special ingredient for making zenman noodles, which excites Toriko as he wants to immediately taste Setsuno's zenman noodles. Toriko notices Komatsu's concern, so Komatsu tells him that he hasn't caught the bubble fruit yet for processing. Komatsu thinks he still hasn't learned food honor and admires Chiru's cooking skills. But Toriko says they should first complete this mission. Then, he tried asking Setsuno. At this point, they had seen a glowing island, so they realized the golden wheat was there, making Toriko's group very surprised, because the field was emitting a very bright golden color. As they prepared to harvest the golden wheat, suddenly, Toriko sensed danger again. Thus, he immediately told Komatsu and Tom to run away. Suddenly, a GT Robo appeared. It turns out the one controlling this GT Robo was Yu. Toriko realized he was also here looking for ingredients, so he attacked Toriko, making Komatsu worried about Toriko. He saw golden wheat being destroyed by him. Thus, Komatsu quickly harvested the golden wheat, while Toriko was getting angry, because he dared to destroy the ingredient, so he continued to attack Toriko. Unexpectedly, he had the ability to disguise himself, making Toriko unaware of his whereabouts. Suddenly, he sneak attacked him from behind. It turns out this was the new generation GT Robo of Bishakukai. So, his speed and strength increased many times. Toriko immediately countered. He realized Toriko had learned food honor, but this GT Robo was made from the hardest ingredients in the gourmet world. Thus, he firmly believed Toriko couldn't destroy his Robo. Unexpectedly, Toriko hit his control unit, causing the GT Robo unable to move. So, he immediately disguised himself and escaped. But Toriko could easily detect his location, making him very surprised, because Toriko was much stronger than before. It turns out he was the one who controlled the small GT Robo in Ice Hell. Now, Yu has revealed his subordinate, activating the full power of the GT Robo. He explained to Toriko, this GT Robo can receive power from the controller. These new generation GT Robos can triple their speed. So, Toriko also decided to show him his true strength. He attacked Toriko, but Toriko easily blocked and counterattacked him, making him surprised at Toriko's strength. Now he realized, from the beginning, Toriko was just stalling to let Komatsu harvest the golden wheat. Now, Toriko is really serious. Unexpectedly, the GT Robo malfunctioned. Turns out they were still in the testing phase. Suddenly, Yu saw Infini B, so he immediately attacked Toriko. To distract him, he even abandoned the Robo's arm to escape, thinking he was going to ambush Komatsu. Unexpectedly, his target was actually Infini B, making Toriko surprised. Yu realized it was Komatsu's food luck that attracted the Infini B here, so he immediately fled. Finally, Toriko and Komatsu completed their mission. Thus, they decided to return. Now, Setsuno wanted Komatsu to help her cook zenman noodles, making Komatsu worried. But she said she would guide Komatsu on how to prepare it. So, Komatsu started cooking, seeing him cutting the golden wheat very quickly, making Setsuno surprised. Now, Komatsu started kneading the dough. Unexpectedly, the golden wheat dough emitted sounds similar to human voices. Setsuno explained because this is a special ingredient, so she instructed Komatsu to knead the dough like a massage, making the golden wheat dough very comfortable. After massaging the dough for a day, Komatsu succeeded, making Toriko very delighted, because this is zenman noodles. Now, she continued to tell both of them to go sell the noodles. So, Komatsu started cooking noodles for everyone to try, making them very delighted, because Komatsu's noodles were very delicious. Turns out he cooked the noodles with century soup. At this moment, Komatsu started preparing various other types of noodles, making everyone very delighted, and attracting more and more customers to Komatsu's shop. By evening, Toriko was very full. Now, Setsuno told Komatsu, actually, he has already learned food honor, but he didn't realize it's all thanks to Komatsu's cooking experience, along with meeting many people. Setsuno also said, the level of cooking zenman noodles is equivalent to cooking bubble fruit. Now, Komatsu can cook bubble fruit. At this moment, Setsuno realized, not only Toriko and Komatsu learned food honor, Turns out the 4 Heavenly Kings group all learned food honor, so it helped them become much stronger. At this moment, Yu has returned, and told Alfaro that Toriko has become much stronger. But, he also completed the mission of catching the Infinibee, to find Acacia's special ingredient for his boss. As for the other 4 Heavenly Kings, Coco, Sunny, and even Zebra, they have each completed Ichiryu's training. But, the 4 Beast is also beginning to awaken. Now, everyone has gathered back together, to eat and be full before challenging the 4 Beast. Outside the city, Igo has evacuated all the citizens, so, there's no one left now. While Toriko and Zebra are competing with each other for food, Coco and Sunny are eating very elegantly. On Komatsu and Rin's side, they have returned to Shokoran Temple with Terry, to learn how to cook bubble fruit for Toriko's group. Now, over 30 billion people have gathered in the city center. The Igo Development Bureau Director Mansam is worried. Last time, the 4 Beast Awakening destroyed the entire city. While Toriko is still competing with Zebra for food, because they have eaten all the food in the restaurant. Luckily, Komatsu and Rin have returned. So, he immediately took out the bubble fruit for everyone. This time the bubble fruit is completely different from before, because it has been prepared by Komatsu. As soon as they tasted the bubble fruit, both Coco and Sunny immediately felt its amazing taste, like pudding melting in their mouths. Suddenly, they started glowing, like they were turning into Super Saiyans. Now, Rin took out a video clip of Ichiryu for the whole group to watch. He explained about the 4 Beast, divided into 4 directions: east, west, south, north, and advancing into the human world. So, the 4 Heavenly Kings have to split into 4 directions to stop them. If any one of them fails, the billions of people will be swallowed by them. While the chairman was speaking very emotionally, "You are my pride," Zebra immediately turned off the computer because he thought he was talking too much. Now, Toriko's 3 pets, Sunny and Coco, also gathered. Rin asked Zebra, "Where's your pet?" "It's here." Suddenly, a Daruma horse appeared. But, it turns out this horse is borrowed by Zebra from someone else. While all the people are worried, because they are about to become food for the 4 Beasts. Then, the 4 Beasts have also appeared. The first one is Mount Turtle level 100. The second one is Invite Death level 100. The third one is King Octopus Kong level 100. The last one is Fang King level 100. So, Toriko's group also began to split up. On the military side, they didn't want to rely on the 4 Heavenly Kings. Thus, they gathered soldiers to fight against the 4 Beast. They mobilized all the most modern weapons to fight them. When the commander was confident with his weapons, he realized his weapons were just toys compared to them, so, they couldn't stop them. Luckily, the 4 Heavenly Kings group appeared. Zebra would fight Mount Turtle. Sunny would fight King Octopus Kong. Coco would fight Invite Death. And Toriko would fight Fang King. Rin and Komatsu were hiding and observing Toriko. Then, Fang King started attacking Toriko. But, Terry moved too fast. So, it couldn't bite him. Toriko immediately used 36 hit nail punches on its abdomen, causing it to be repeatedly knocked back. But, it still wasn't hurt. Seeing it seemed very strong, Toriko approached and measured its level. Unexpectedly, its level was 127, making Toriko excited to fight Fang King seriously. On Sunny's side, they also measured King Octopus Kong's level as 132. But, he found this monster too ugly. Coco measured Invite Death as level 140. Zebra found measuring Mount Turtle's level too bothersome, because he just wanted to immediately defeat it. Toriko continued to use 72-hit twin nail punch. Invite Death shot acid at Coco. So, he immediately used poison armor to fight it. Sunny transformed his hair into demon-like and punched King Octopus Kong. Zebra also shot voice missiles at Mount Turtle. Seeing the 4 Heavenly Kings gaining the upper hand, made everyone happy. But, Fang King still wasn't weak, immediately counter-attacking Toriko. Sunny was knocked away by King Octopus Kong. Zebra was hit by Mount Turtle's fireball. Coco was hit by Invite Death's acid, making everyone start to worry. If the 4 Heavenly Kings lose, they will all die. But, now Toriko's group still stood up. Coco's side wasn't afraid of Invite Death's acid. Sunny also mastered food honor. So, he could easily control a million hairs, and Zebra used voice burst technique. Don't mess with me. Komatsu and Rin took out the video clip of Ichiryu to watch, and discovered the last part where he said, "There really are no 4 beasts. But, there's only one beast, and it's controlling these 4 beasts," which surprised Komatsu and Rin. At this point, Toriko decided to fight Fang King alone, seeing it dodging his leg knife. So, he continued to use his fork to attack it, and knocked it away. Coco used poisoned arrows to shoot at invite death, causing its body to be infected with poison virus, and he finished it off with his mold spear. Meanwhile, Sunny used his hair to entangle the monster, and he also immediately defeated it with just one punch. On Zebra's side, he used the beat punch technique on its arm, and he also defeated Mount Turtle. Thinking they had won, suddenly, Rin called to inform the group. The four beasts isn't four separate creatures but only one. Unexpectedly, the four beasts immediately burrowed underground. So, Toriko's group chased after them. Turns out their true forms were underground. Toriko realized it was located in the city center, where everyone was gathering, while the whole city was celebrating the victory of the four heavenly kings group. Toriko's group was still chasing after the four beasts. Suddenly, roots started sprouting all over the city, and a gigantic monster appeared, which made everyone fearful, causing the whole city to fall into chaos. As it prepared to absorb humans, it immediately sensed four demons behind it, even though Toriko's group hadn't arrived yet. Luckily, Teppei stepped forward to hold it back. At this moment, Zebra arrived and realized. So you're here. He sensed it absorbing the four beasts. Thus, everyone also arrived. Suddenly, they saw this monster transforming, and it had turned into the real four beast. This monster then released green rain into the sky, creating a heavy rain. Coco realized this rain was poisonous. If humans were hit by this toxin, they would die in an hour. He immediately told Komatsu to go back and find Yuta, and together with him, make an antidote. So, the four heavenly kings group was ready to fight. But, the monster still smiled confidently at them. Suddenly, Zebra rushed forward on his own. He immediately used meteor noise to attack the four beast, and continued to use the beat punch technique. But, the four beast wasn't harmed at all, and punched Zebra into the wall. Now, Coco also shot poisoned arrows at the four beast. But, he was also knocked away by it. Quinn immediately grabbed the four beast tightly, and Sunny used his hair to punch it. Unexpectedly, the four beast could transmit that shock to Quinn. So, he was also defeated by the four beast. Then, it was Toriko's turn, continuously using nail punch, and attacking the four beast with his knife and fork. But, he was still defeated by it. At this moment, Rin and Terry have rushed over to measure the level of this monster. Unexpectedly, this four beast was level 320, on Komatsu's side. He had returned to meet Yuta. He said making 100 million doses of antidote in 1 hour was impossible, making Komatsu worried. Do you need my help? Turns out Setsuno also arrived, although with Setsuno, a second-class chef's help. But, Yuta said they still needed more people. At this point, Chiru, a 15th-ranked chef, also arrived, together with Livebearer, a 17th-ranked chef in the underground gourmet world. And there were many other famous chefs coming to help Komatsu, making him very happy. Yuta then said, "It was time for us to cook the antidote." On the side of the four heavenly kings, they were still trying to fight against the four beast. Rin realized the four beasts level was still increasing steadily. Currently, it was level 350. Suddenly, a wooden canopy appeared to shelter the Toriko group from the rain. Turns out Teppei also came to help them, and Toriko told Rin to go help everyone. If not, they would melt from the poison of the four beast. So, Rin and Terry immediately left. Suddenly, Teppei also left and said, "The task of dealing with the four beast belongs to the four heavenly kings." It turned out to be Ichiryu's words through Teppei to the whole group, making them angry. How dare that old man underestimate us? On Komatsu's side, Yuta was instructing everyone how to make the antidote, made from a type of mushroom called medicinal mochi. But, this was a special ingredient, so, they didn't have enough ingredients to make enough medicine for 100 million people, making Komatsu worried. At this point, Toriko's group, they had released their gourmet cells and captured the four beast. They immediately launched a combined attack with Toriko's fork, but, still couldn't harm the four beast. So, they were defeated by him once again. However, Toriko's group didn't give up, continuing to stand up and fight the four beast. As for Komatsu, when he knew he could only save 50 million people, then he said, "Give me 10 minutes, in 10 minutes, I will find the simplest way to make the antidote." At this point, the poison cooking specialist ranked 19 also appeared. He said he could help control people's poison for 3 hours, helping everyone have more time. So, Komatsu immediately went into a room to think about how to make the antidote. He used a method of mixing mochi mushrooms with rice, but, he found that he couldn't mix them evenly. On the people's side, Tylan was instructing everyone how to control the poison, to prolong the time without the poison acting. When everyone was worried because 8 minutes had passed, Setsuno and Chiru both trusted Komatsu. because last time he came up with a way to cook bubble fruit, and Komatsu is indeed a culinary genius. While Setsuno's disciple didn't believe Komatsu could succeed, unexpectedly, he managed to mix rice and mushrooms. As for Toriko's group, they were still being overwhelmed by the four beasts. No matter how many nail punches Toriko used, they still couldn't harm the four beasts. At this point, the whole group began to tire out. But, the four beasts kept getting stronger. Outside the room, people realized they were out of time. Suddenly, Komatsu ran out and announced, "I finished it. The simplest way to make the antidote," making everyone surprised. So, they immediately started making the antidote together. Unexpectedly, all the chefs in the world helped Komatsu make the antidote, making him happy. So, Komatsu immediately live-streamed to guide everyone on how to make the antidote. Unexpectedly, Komatsu's cooking method made the antidote in less than 3 minutes. So, over 5 million chefs started making it together. Now, they could only rely on Toriko's group to defeat the four beasts. On Toriko's side, they were still being overwhelmed by the four beasts. Sunny asked, "Are we going to die this time for real?" Zebra and Coco realized it was because of the poison from the four beasts that weakened their cells. Even Coco couldn't resist this poison. Suddenly, Toriko's stomach growled with hunger. Turns out, he remembered Ichiryu once said that the meat of the four beasts is very delicious, making them all start to look at the four beasts hungrily and imagine the moment of eating it, causing their stomachs to growl incessantly. So, they stood up determined to eat the four beasts. The four beasts continued to attack the group and shot lasers at them, causing an explosion. Fortunately, Zebra used sound teleportation to move the group backward. At this moment, Toriko remembered a technique that Ichiryu had taught them since childhood. But, it required all four of them to combine their hunger together. When the four beasts was about to attack them again, Terry appeared to block it. Both Quinn and Kiss also came to help restrain the four beasts. So, the four heavenly kings had time to use the technique and remember what Ichiryu had taught them. But, to use this technique, all four of them had to feel intense hunger together. At this moment, their three pets are attempting to attack the four beasts and cut off its limbs. Mansam recalled how in the gourmet world in the past, their ancestors had fought the four beasts thousands of times. Suddenly, the four beasts sprouted many arms. So, it grabbed Terry and began attacking wildly. When Terry was completely defeated, Toriko's group still combined their hunger together. But, they failed. So, they tried again. "Four beast, we want to eat you." Then, all four of their gourmet cells appeared and combined their hunger together. While their three pets were already defeated, finally, the ultimate skill, Dinner of Kings, was completed. As the four beast was about to advance to eat them all, suddenly, it sensed, it was like a piece of meat on the plate of the four heavenly kings. Now, in front of the four beast was a golden sphere. When it opened its mouth as if it could swallow everything. So, the Toriko team controlled it to rush and eat the four beast, continuously helping the sphere to enlarge. Although the four beast had infinite regeneration ability, but with this intense hunger, the four beast couldn't do anything. Seeing the four beast being eaten away made everyone happy, because their faith in the four heavenly kings was proven right. Finally, the four beast was completely eaten up. So, Toriko's group could rest. While Teppei was now chasing a suspicious person, Toriko's side saw their three pets were safe, making them very happy. And Zebra's Daruma horse escorted Komatsu here to distribute the antidote to everyone. At this point, inside the stomach of the four beast cracked open. Release everyone that it ate from its stomach. Sunny immediately used his hair to create a giant net to catch them. Finally, the meat of the four beast fell down, creating a giant meat chunk, making the Toriko team drool with hunger. The chefs rejoiced, preparing to cook the meat of the four beast. While others were bringing the four beast meat back, Zebra is sitting down and eating hastily. Now, all the chefs began to cook, and created many dishes from the meat of the four beast. The meat of the four beast was divided among everyone in the city. Finally, it was Toriko's team's turn to eat, making Toriko very happy because the meat of the four beast was delicious. That's it for today's video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support Oni-chan in the next videos. Thank you for watching. Love you all.